In today's video, we're going to discuss that follow-through move that I know a lot of you don't like to see, which looks a little bit like this, when the arm structure breaks down, and we're going to discuss what that might cause onto the golf ball and a fantastic way that we can go about resolving it. So without further ado, let's get stuck in. So why is this arm structure so important, and what can that influence when we're hitting the golf ball? Well, it's important for us to understand that firstly, as I'm making some swings back and through, you can see that with the club head, I'm creating a great big circle as you guys are looking at me from a face-on perspective. And above other things, one of the greatest influences in that circle is the arm structure, quite largely. If I'm creating this arm structure at setup, I want to primarily keep this same arm structure back and through the swing so I can maintain the consistency of radius, consistency of arc in my swing arc so that I can improve the consistency of my impact. So what can that actually influence that impact? Well, if my arm structure is breaking down, then I'm essentially narrowing that arc. And what I can also do is I can essentially raise that arc or raise that golf club from the floor due to this bent arm, given everything is equal, and that can really affect the consistency of my low point control. Low point control can affect strike, and especially for you guys who are topping the driver, and that's quite a common factor that I can see when this left arm is breaking down. That's because the golf club is raised too far from the ground surface. I'm struggling to get the golf club down to the ground essentially. That can also materialise in irons, but in my experience, I really see that get exploited when it comes to a driver on a tee. So low point control, really important. Number two, it can also affect your club face control, because as we are coming into the hitting area, you'll primarily see someone who breaks this arm down. They'll create lots of angle in this wrist here, and what that is that's the golf club struggling to naturally release through the hitting area by solid arm structure being maintained and the wrists and forearms just releasing freely through. Now, if I'm struggling to present consistent club face, I'm therefore going to present or struggle to present consistent direction. So maintain this arm structure is really important to maintain the radius of this circle, which in turn influences low point control, strike, and club face control, which is direction. So the next part of the video, we're going to discuss a really simple kind of guide as to how we can look to maintain this arm structure with a really good, effective drill. Now to start with, we're going to do some swings without hitting the ball so we can build up this motion. And I've just got a tour striker ball here, or you can grab anything really, something circular, even like a balloon I've seen a couple of golf coaches use. And just place this ball just in between the forearms, just so it's nice and comfortable. And then from there, take your grip. Make some small little swings, not thinking about anything in particular, other than that task of trying to keep that ball within the arms. If I am to lose this arm structure or break it down, you can see how that ball is naturally going to fall out. So this is a really good task-orientated way to train up that kind of feeling coming into and through the hitting area of an appropriate maintenance of arm structure. And it's a really good way just to think about that, and that only before putting a golf ball down. You'll also notice as I'm doing this that I'm now being influenced to create an element of rotation, especially through the hitting area, because what you'll actually see is people who have this movement through the golf ball, that the big parts of the golf swing, the torso and the legs primarily, will be very stagnant coming into the hitting area, and that's where we see the arms overtake and we get that kind of cricket shotty, hold-offy kind of follow-through. So this task will really help you to understand what it means to maintain that arm structure by seeing more appropriate rotation through the golf ball, because you have to have that in order to maintain that arm structure. Now that we're comfortable with that, let's hit some balls at 50% power. So just a few kind of pitch up motions, essentially just adding the golf ball to what we've just built up, getting ourselves set up, and just deploying that feeling into a hit. When we get comfortable with that, we can then build it up to the next phase, and I wouldn't be wanting to hit golf ball any harder than this, and that is hitting balls at 80% power. A really good golf coach who teaches many people on tour said to me that regardless of the level of golfer, no swing change should be made above 80% power, and especially with this drill, because it's hard to keep this in at full power anyway. So 80% max with any drill that you do, especially with this, and this would be the maximum amount of effort that I would want you to hit golf balls whilst doing this drill. So we're now going to build it up. 80% power, hitting some golf balls from there, just understanding that feeling of rotating through as I keep this ball in to see nice appropriate arm structure through the hip. Spend most of your time getting comfortable with that, getting used to that, and then you can put the golf ball down, again slot a ball in, and now for that final phase, can I do it without the aid? So we understand what it's like to maintain that arm structure on the way through. We understand that to keep that ball in, we have to have an appropriate amount of rotation so that we don't see a breakdown from under rotation. And we've got kind of a really good little task there to help us ensure that we are doing that. So this fix is all about progression. Start small, get the ball in, do some swings without the ball so you can understand the movement, understand that rotation is required to keep that arm structure through the hip, building up that feeling before you can then apply golf ball. 50% power max, understand that feeling, get comfortable, 80% power, and only then when you're achieving the task of keeping this ball in and incorporating that kind of feeling onto a golf ball being hit at 8%, can you then take the ball away and then look to hit some balls without the aid, just still remembering that feeling. Really important, the feeling here is what you're trying to achieve, train a feeling, not a thought, so that we can turn, keep the arm structure and stop this chicken wing, that break down the arm structure through the hit and see better quality golf shots from there. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop me a comment in the comment section down below or drop me a follow on my socials. For any online or individual coaching, feel free to drop me a follow on the SKILLEST app and drop me a message from there. But until next time, I'll catch you on the next one.